As most of you know, I'm very bullish on private lending when it comes to investing because I think it's a great way to generate cash flow. But today I wanted to go over the three main reasons that people don't like it because I want to keep it real. So number one is the tax implications. If you're doing private lending, it's taxed as earned income. So if you already make a lot of money and you start to generate more private lending money, now you're increasing your earned income. Now, how I solve for that is I offset it by buying assets. So I'm a real estate investor as well. I'm buying assets. Now I get to depreciate tax benefits. I get to spread what I've earned out within all my businesses and say business expenses. So I try to mitigate that as much as I can, but there's no way around it. It is earned income. Number two, and a big reason, is it costs a lot to get in because you got to lend your own money. And while that is true, I think private lending is best used for high earners who have capital saved up or make a lot of money. But what people don't realize is if you have a lot of equity in your assets, you can take HELOCs out, or if you have a 401k with a large chunk of money, you can convert that into a self-directed 401k. So it's not just about, oh, I have 100,000, I have $1 million I can lend. Even if you don't have that hard cash, there's ways you can leverage and still utilize the private lending business and make some excess capital. And number three is the fact that a lot of people are worried about foreclosure and if your borrower doesn't pay. That's a legit risk, but there's ways you can mitigate that. And the first way is I try to work with experienced borrowers. I have a very good criteria of what I'm looking for in a borrower as well as the property. And then you could also lower the loan to value of the property. So if you're worried about them not paying, if you are only lending a certain amount, let's call it 60% of the value of that property, if they don't pay, you essentially are taking over that property at 60% of what it's worth. So now you have an opportunity to make money even if they do not pay. So those are ways you can mitigate that. And that's something I'm always thinking about. How can I mitigate the risk within my private lending business? So those are the three downfalls of private lending. I think there's ways to mitigate them and ways around it so where you can still benefit from the upside. But I wanted to share that and be transparent with you guys.